Imagine waking up to find your company's data held hostage with a hefty price tag for its return. This was the reality for Colonial Pipeline in May 2021. In the quiet dawn hours, a digital marauder infiltrated the fortress of Colonial Pipeline, the largest fuel pipeline in the United States. This was not a physical break-in, but a silent, insidious cyber attack, a nightmare come to life. The attackers didn't steal anything that could be easily replaced. Instead, they stole something much more valuable: control. They seized control of Colonial's data, encrypted it, and held it for ransom. This type of cyber attack is known as ransomware. It's like a digital form of kidnapping where the captors don't take people, but data. The attackers, a cybercriminal gang known as DarkSide, demanded a hefty ransom in exchange for the decryption key, the only tool that could unlock Colonial's data. The impact was immediate and far-reaching. Colonial Pipeline, responsible for delivering nearly half of the East Coast fuel supplies, was forced to halt operations. This shutdown sparked a domino effect, leading to fuel shortages, panic buying, and soaring gas prices. It was a stark reminder of our critical dependency on digital systems and the vulnerability these systems face. The ransomware attack on Colonial Pipeline was not an isolated incident. In fact, it was part of a disturbing trend of escalating cyber threats. The frequency and intensity of these attacks have been on the rise, with ransom payments spiraling into millions of dollars. In the end, Colonial Pipeline made the difficult decision to pay the ransom, a whopping $4.4 million. But even after regaining access to their data, the damage was done. The incident exposed the chinks in our digital armor, raising questions about the security of critical infrastructure and the increasing power of cybercriminals. This alarming incident is just one example of a ransomware attack, a growing cyber threat in our digital age. So, what exactly is ransomware? You may have heard the term tossed around in tech forums or news outlets, but what does it mean? Simply put, ransomware is a type of malicious software or malware. Its prime directive? To block access to a computer system until a certain sum of money is paid. Now, this might sound like something straight out of a dystopian novel, but it's very much a reality in our digital age. The mechanics of how it works are as cunning as they are destructive. Ransomware typically finds its way into systems through seemingly harmless emails. This method is known as phishing. Here's how it works. You receive an email, often disguised as a legitimate communication from a trusted source. It could be an update from your bank, a message from your boss, or even a note from a friend. Within this email, there's usually a link or an attachment. The moment you click on this link or download this attachment, the ransomware gets to work. It swiftly locks up your files, encrypting them in such a way that you can't access them without a special key. This key, as you might have guessed, is held by the attacker. They then leave you a friendly note, spelling out their demands. Usually they want money and lots of it, and the currency of choice? More often than not, it's cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, due to their untraceable nature. But why would anyone do this? Well, the motivations range from monetary gain to just causing havoc. For some, it's a way to fund illegal activities. For others, it's a perverse form of entertainment. Regardless of the reason, the end result is the same: your data held hostage. In essence, ransomware is a digital form of hostage-taking, where your data is the victim. But don't despair. Later on, we will delve into how you can safeguard your digital assets and protect yourself from these cyber predators. So, how does a ransomware attack work? Well, it begins as a sinister plot, lurking behind the mundane. Picture an unsuspecting user clicking on a seemingly harmless email link. This link, however, is far from innocuous. It's a booby trap, a gateway for the ransomware to infiltrate the system. Once the user clicks on the link, the ransomware is downloaded onto their device. But it's not just any download, it's a silent one, slipping onto the device unnoticed, like a thief in the night. As it settles in, it begins to work its malevolent magic, scanning the system for valuable data. But it's not just looking, it's preparing for its true purpose. The ransomware begins to encrypt the user's data, transforming it into an unreadable mess. This is no simple task, it's a complex process, requiring advanced algorithms and a lot of computing power. But the ransomware is relentless. It doesn't stop until every file, every document, every precious piece of data is locked away out of the user's reach. The user, meanwhile, is oblivious to the turmoil within their device. It's business as usual until they try to access their data. That's when they encounter the ransom note. A chilling message, usually accompanied by a countdown timer, demanding a specific amount of money in exchange for the decryption key. The ransom is typically demanded in cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, making it nearly impossible for authorities to trace. The user is left in a state of panic, caught between a rock and a hard place. Pay the ransom and fund criminal activity, or refuse and potentially lose their data forever. And just like that, in the blink of an eye, an entire system can be held captive, waiting for a ransom to be paid. The effects of a ransomware attack can be devastating. Imagine waking up one day to find that your computer systems have been hijacked, your data locked, and the only way to regain access is to pay an astronomical sum to an anonymous cyber criminal. This is the harsh reality of ransomware, a type of malware that encrypts your digital assets and demands a ransom for their release. One of the most immediate impacts of a ransomware attack is financial loss. This isn't just about the ransom demanded by the attackers. Often the financial blow comes from the cost of incident response, system restoration, potential regulatory fines, and of course the loss of business during the downtime. Speaking of downtime, ransomware can cause significant operational disruptions. Depending on the size of your business and the extent of the attack, recovery can take weeks or even months. During this time, your business could be at a standstill, unable to deliver services or products to your customers. But the effects of ransomware extend beyond the tangible. There's a less quantifiable but equally damaging aspect: the blow to reputation. Trust is a hard-earned commodity in today's digital world. A ransomware attack can shake that trust, leading to a loss of customers and partners. It can damage your brand's reputation, sometimes irreparably. And let's not forget, ransomware doesn't discriminate. It targets organizations of all sizes and across all industries. Big corporations might make the headlines, but small businesses and even individuals are not immune. In fact, they can be more vulnerable, as they often lack the resources to invest in robust cyber defenses. So it's clear, the impact of ransomware is far-reaching. It's not just an IT problem to be handled by your tech department. It's a major business risk that can affect your bottom line, your operations, and your reputation. And for individuals, it's a personal risk, threatening your privacy and financial security. Ransomware is not just an IT issue, but a major business risk, and a personal one too. So, what have we learned about ransomware? Ransomware, as we've learned, is a type of malicious software that essentially holds a user's data hostage, demanding a ransom in return for access to that data. It's the digital equivalent of a hostage situation, and it's as terrifying as it sounds. The process of a ransomware attack is cunning and often complex. It begins when the ransomware manages to infiltrate a system, often through seemingly harmless emails or downloads. Once inside, it encrypts the user's files, effectively locking them out of their own data. The victim is then presented with a ransom demand, usually in the form of untraceable digital currency like Bitcoin. We've also discussed the severe impacts of ransomware. For individuals, it can mean the loss of personal and invaluable data. For businesses, it can spell disaster, resulting in substantial financial loss, operational downtime, and reputational damage. In a worst-case scenario, a successful ransomware attack can even lead to bankruptcy. But it's not all doom and gloom. Understanding ransomware and its mechanics is the first step towards defending against it. There are measures that can be taken to prevent ransomware attacks, such as maintaining up-to-date software, backing up data regularly, and exercising caution when opening emails or downloading files from unknown sources. Ransomware represents one of the many threats in the cyber world, and as our lives become more intertwined with digital technology, it's a threat we can't afford to ignore. That's why staying informed about these threats is vital. Knowledge is power. And in this case, knowledge can be the difference between staying safe or falling victim to a cyber attack. In our increasingly digital world, understanding threats like ransomware is crucial. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and most importantly, stay safe in the cyber world.